I'm just doing my thing, doing my thing. Oh, you keep hanging. I'm just doing my thing. Oh, you keep hanging.
So I give you solutions, not just here's the problem, but I give you solutions.
I'm just doing my 6 in the morning, yeah, I'm on my dough.
And that's why I wrote the book. It's about 37 to 40 years of research.
Now I'm flourishing, life's an excursion. If you get it,
When you isolate a vitamin from its whole food form, it becomes nothing more than an isolated chemical, and your body actually has to work harder to break it down to its molecular structure.
Feeling so good, so good. And I'm feeling so good.
Welcome, everybody, to Get Healthy, the Wynters Way with the Pure Cure. I'm Sharyn Wynters, and happy Thanksgiving. This is my favorite holiday because there's no religion attached to it, and it's all about giving thanks. And I feel so blessed to be able to have the show, to be able to get the information out, to have my book, and I am very blessed to be here with you all today. And I just wanted to take a minute about Thanksgiving. One of the things that I do every morning that I've been doing for years is the first thing I do when I get up, as soon as I open my eyes, I go into gratitude and I think of 10 things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my life, grateful for my health, grateful for my children, my home. And I'm grateful that I can still wear high heels at my age. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. And I think that so many of us live with fear, anxiety, worry, doubt. And so what happens when I go into that place of gratefulness, it puts me in a space of joy, love, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude. And so on this day of Thanksgiving, why don't we just take a moment? We're all so busy. We become busy beings busy doings instead of human beings. And take a minute, put your cell phone down, stop texting, and if you're with your family today, tell them you love them. And before you start your dinner, why don't you go around the room and say one thing that you're grateful for and move through that energy field today of all days. We have so much to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for my guest that's here today on Thanksgiving. And I want to say that, as a human race, we're at a critical place. And that the decisions that this generation makes will determine the fate of the next generation, just as the last generation have put us in this precarious position, unbeknownst to them. And we have some problems going on this planet, from Fukushima through GMO, and what's going on. And my last chapter in my book, The Pure Cure, A Complete Guide to Freeing Your Life from Dangerous Toxin, is a chapter called It's Time to Take Action. We need to do more than just know. We all need to be responsible for what's going on. And the more that I realize about what's going on this planet, where my carbon footprint is, the more I become aware that I want to be as much as I can to contribute to this earth in a non-toxic way. So I've become sustainable. And about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to go solar. And I called a company up, and they came to my house, and they did their inspection. And they said to me, well, we're going to have to take some trees down in order for you to get solar. And I didn't even want to know what the trees were. I just said, no, never mind. And that was about 2-3 years ago. And the last 2 to 3 years, my bills have skyrocketed. And I keep turning off the electricity, and they keep going up. And I decided, okay, so now I'm opened, and I see what's going on. I'll call them back again. Let me at least see what trees they're talking about. Maybe I'll bend a little bit. So I called them back. And they had no record of them being at my house before. And they came out, and they said, well, southern exposure, we're going to have to take out your jacaranda tree and the oak tree. And I said, well, the jacaranda tree is my favorite tree, and the oak tree, the city's never going to let you take that out. So they left. And I was really disappointed because I want to get solar in my home. My friend said to me, you got to call this company. I go, why? They said, well, a friend of mine just put solar in for his parents and it seemed to work. I went, well, I have nothing to lose. So I called them up, and he's my guest today because I'm getting solar. I'm so excited. I didn't know there's a difference in solar. I didn't know there's different panels. I didn't know that there's different strengths. I don't have to take out any of my trees. And so I'm really excited today to have my guest. His name is Sergio Bruna, and he's a solar expert. On this day of Thanksgiving, I'm giving thanks that Sergio is here. So welcome to my show on Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much, Sharyn. Thank you so much for having me over. And this is very special. You're very special. You're very special. There's an energy, besides that you're one of the most beautiful women on the planet. There's something very, very special about you. And you just, you just put me in a frame of mind. I wasn't expecting that. What a gift. Now that you were talking about gratitude, and I also think you made me reflect. You made me reflect about my life in the moment, and I think just being grateful is the secret for well-being, for inner peace. And I think it's a great tool of attraction too, when you're in that constant state of just gratefulness. But let's not hijack the conversation and make this about.
This is important for people because it's all what it's about. It's funny because I realize that as I get older, I'm dropping judgment for compassion, and I'm becoming much more compassionate with with myself and to other people, and less judgmental. And that's a hard thing to do.
Absolutely.
It's a hard thing to do, because we're all so judgmental. And I realize how judgmental I've been on my own self and how it stops me and limits me because I've always got this critical judge in the back of my mind going, oh, I can do that, oh, that. And then that just goes forth to other people. And so it's nice to be able to let it go, It's a learning process.
Absolutely.
It's a learning process, and you're not too shabby to look at yourself, my dear. If you weren't married and about 20 years older, we'd be having another conversation.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Sharyn. And I'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna call my lawyer right now to see if I can. Yeah, right. How much the divorce is going to be.
Oh no, costing. I don't go down that. I'm a sister boy. I don't touch that one.
Okay. Beautiful.
No, I'm a true sister. And I've got a couple sons older than you.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know. By the way, I asked when I was coming in. I think I asked. I don't know if it was one of your show producers. I really liked the song that was playing.
I'm just doing my thing,
and he told me one of your songs.
That's my son Dylan
Unbelievable.
Young. Yeah,
it's so catchy. I really like that song.
He wrote it in about 45 seconds. I said, I need a song for my show, and all of a sudden he had it. And he even put in herbs and whole foods, and he's probably laughing at me, but yeah.
Are you serious? He's really good. So congratulations.
He's awesome, and he just released an album a couple weeks ago. So if anybody's interested, check out his music. It's called Son of Waves. Go to sonofwaves.com, and his music's on there, so you can buy it.
Beautiful.
It's a great gift to give to somebody. You can always walk around going, I'm just doing my thing.
Doing my thing. I love that. Congratulations. You must be very proud.
I am.
Very excited to be part of this industry.
So what is solar for? Just like nobody,
Okay.
so somebody can understand. What are we talking about?
Okay, enough sunlight falls on Earth in a day to power the Earth for a whole year. And we're talking about all the energy needs. And that's not just electricity. I mean, remember, because today we have electric cars, and electric cars can be charged through solar panels. We don't need to burn fuels any longer. So enough sunlight falls on Earth in a day to power the whole Earth for a year. So it's about us being able to capture that energy because it's there.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's just electric cars. That's my dream. I've been looking at the Tesla.
when I first thing I met you, you will look great on a Tesla. The four-door is awesome.
Anybody would look great in a Tesla.
Yeah. No,
but the technology's here.
It's here
we
to
have
stay.
we have a car. Tesla's doing it. 300 miles before you need to plug in. And why aren't the other manufacturers doing that? What's going on here?
Exactly. Tesla, this company, they have the Tesla S, which is the car that we like, the four-door. They have the different power versions, if you will, but exactly, there's one that gives
200,
you...
and 300
exactly,
miles.
300 miles per
I've been down there a couple
charge.
times already.
And it is a gorgeous car, but this is the thing. It also, I had a meeting with a customer that also purchased solar from us, and he told me, Sergio, this is just amazing. I met him at a Starbucks to finish off some paperwork, and he was, smiling more than usual. I'm like, what's going on, buddy? He said, listen, I just got this car, and the only thing, you need to charge it, right? But he told me last night, because this is what I do. Every night I come home, I get in my garage and I plug the car because that car charges itself until it's full. Then automatically it shuts off, so nobody's wasting any electricity, and also you're not burning the battery, right? Has a safety mechanism, if you will. So the guy told me yesterday night I had a couple drinks, came home, and forgot to plug the car. So this morning, halfway to meet you, I realized I had no charge. But because he was going downhill to meet me, this car charge itself, to 30%, not fully charged, but just going down a mountain, the car charges itself. It's, like hybrid technology, when you're braking and you are going downhill, it charges itself. So I love the fact that I love the fact that that's available, that's a reality, it's here to stay, and it's just going to get better. Yeah. Sharyn, I think this is going to get better.
Well,
so
the other automobile companies have got to get hip to doing that. We've got all these problems with gas, and we don't need gas. We don't need it. We've got a way to travel without gasoline.
Exactly.
In fact, we're sold so short. We bought this lie. People are happy because they're getting, I'm getting 38 miles to a gallon, or I'm getting this to a gallon. No, we can do it on no gasoline. That's the point.
You don't
and
need
it's
exactly.
being done now. So I want to ask you something.
But you know what, Sharyn? I wanted to say something about that. I love the fact that solar is unstoppable. Solar is not the future, it's the present. And we'll get deeply into it in a second. But it saddens me that right now we're seeing this support from the government and this, through the California Solar Initiative and whatnot, because now they need us to go solar. And they're doing it for financial reasons. Not like, for example, Germany, after the Fukushima incident, they immediately closed down 8 nuclear plants. And they have a plan to close all the remaining by 2022. So you have people that are saying, this is wrong. We need to learn a lesson, and we're gonna. So here, electricity, like you have experience, is not just you. Electricity is skyrocketing in price, and this is the reason why they're closing down coal-fired plants, which produce 50% of the electricity in the U.S. And these plants are being closed due to environmental regulations, because nothing contaminates more than burning coal in order to generate electricity. There's 3 ways to generate electricity: through nuclear plants, which is dangerous and expensive, windmills. They never really work. If you see, we have windmills going to San Francisco, Palm Springs, Ridgecrest, but every time you go there, you see 60-70% of them are not working.
Right.
So then you have the most reliable way of generating electricity, which is coal-fired plants. But they contaminate so much that now finally the government has put heavy penalties into it. And I think it was after the BP accident in the Gulf. I mean, activists just told the government, you need to do something, right? So thanks to these heavy penalties, they're not profitable anymore, and that's why they're closing down. And now because they're closing down, utility companies need two things: a new source of electricity and a way of dealing, because they know people are not going to take it with the increases in prices.
My bills have been outrageous. I mean, you saw what my bills.
I know
were.
it's wow, yeah. I mean, you have a big home too. You have a beautiful home. What a good taste you have. It's like an imperial Chinese palace. Your home in the hills. I mean, what
no,
a.
It's not. No, it's not.
It is. It looks beautiful. You have such a beautiful home, and I'm very, very glad.
I tried to create a space of serenity because.
The entrance is majestic.
Thank you.
The entrance is majestic. It transports you to something. Yeah. What a way of living. You know. You're succeeding at the art of living life, Sharyn. I gotta tell you, I'm a big fan of yours. It's like Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra said...
Have a little moment here, folks. You don't
exactly.
mind, do you?
Let's turn over a second. No, what Frank Sinatra said, I live life once, but the way I live life once is enough, right? So with you can say that.
I've had many lives,
but
that's
even better.
I'm enjoying this one.
Yes, awesome.
So let me ask you a question. How are you able to put the solar on in my home?
What other companies don't?
And not cut the trees down. My beautiful jacaranda tree, which is my favorite tree.
Gorgeous tree.
It's my favorite tree of all time. And you're not say, oh no, we don't need to do that. So tell
100%.
me. Oh, yeah. How are you doing
this
that?
is the thing. Not all solar is created equal.
Not all solar is created equal.
I've spent several years in this industry. I actually helped open the very first franchise of the #1 European company, solar company, in the United States, here in West Los Angeles. So I was in charge of all the recruiting, the training, the writing scripts. I worked rubbing elbows with the owner, and that exposed me in depth to the world of solar and the areas nobody. Thanks to that experience, today I get to own my own solar company, but I saw the ugliness of what otherwise is a beautiful business, right? Because again, people just care about money, Sharyn. It's all just about money, and there are many. Companies.
Things are changing.
I know, thankfully, yeah.
Consciousness is definitely changing, and those old ways are dying. They're not working anymore. Obviously, what's going on?
We're not
this
fooling
planet.
people anymore, right? That's
people,
exactly.
There's a new day has come. So
100%.
Yeah.
So you have these companies that are not solar companies. You have all these companies, sadly, and I'm talking about 96% of them.
And we're not going to name
panel
names.
manufacturers. Exactly.
We're
We don't
not
want to.
naming
We know.
names.
We know better.
We won't name
Looks like we've
names.
been in court before, all of us. No, we're just very wise. We're very wise. There are, sadly, most of them. They're not panel manufacturers. This is guys that literally buy the parts that form a solar panel, meaning I buy the cheapest cells I can get, even buy them over, through the computer, the casings, the microinverters, and they themselves build a panel that's never been tested, and they sell them by the millions. That's what these companies do. I personally chose to, and I saw that these companies that are installing solar panels of that quality really are putting a bad name into this industry because those panels degrade and early on stop giving the energy they should. They stop producing the energy they should. And
but
after
if you're locked into a contract, like what happens is that you guarantee me that my electric bill now is going to be half of what it will be for, is it 20 or 25 years?
It's 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
if they degrade, isn't it your responsibility to fix them? Because if it's not pulling that energy, isn't that your issue?
Oh, 100%. But
I mean, not you, but not your company, but the company's issue that put
the
it
bills.
in?
100%. But this is not going to be our case because our panels are not like that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying another company. If the panels are no longer working, do they have to replace them?
Yeah, they're supposed to, but the issue is that you have to really watch out who are you doing business with, because what if this company is no longer in business?
Everything.
Exactly. It's what if that company is no longer in business, or what if they cannot get those panels anymore, or what if these companies are outsourcing everything? Like, we have everything in-house. Like, there are companies that they will buy the panels from a different country, and they will hire a company to install them, and then they sell that paper and purchase a warranty from another company, and then something fails, people are going to be pointing fingers at each other. So I've seen real horror stories with solar. That is why, after being exposed to all this for years, I chose SunPower. SunPower is an American company, and I'm very proud to own what it is probably the best SunPower dealership here in California. In the number one market in the world, probably. SunPower is an American company that's been around for 26 years,
Is that the company that Warren Buffett?
That is correct.
Yeah.
NASA,
I did read something
exactly.
about that.
NASA uses our panels to power satellites into space. The Department of Defense, the government, FedEx, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, you name it, Apple, Audi, exclusively uses SunPower. And in fact, Mr. Warren Buffett, the small businessman that goes around the world cutting juicy deals, he just purchased a $2.5 billion system from SunPower. He's starting Buffett Utilities in the desert in Antelope Valley. So again, going to... And
it's all going to be solar.
Yeah?
It's all going to be solar.
Everything, it has to be.
Yeah.
And I have a couple articles here on my phone. This is beautiful how in this day and age, I don't even bring papers. I just got everything on my phone. That in Fukushima, they just installed a 7 megawatt system and that is going to provide electricity for 22,000 homes. So they're trying to make up for it right away. I mean, it was a big disaster. We're all very sorry about what happened, but at least they're trying to make something. And what they did, I'll show you a picture in a second. Huge system they're installing that is going to satisfy the needs of 22,000 homes. But so SunPower, and why we were able to work.
It's amazing to me that when we have this kind of technology, that we're still using other technologies. It's all
100%.
ego, it's all evil, it's all
business, money, relationships. They don't want to leave room for something newer, better, just because they're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, right? And certain amounts of money coming in. So they block. They don't care about the world. They don't care about the future. They don't care about next generations.
Well, I'm hoping that they will care, and there's some politicians coming up that do care, that are trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my energy shift into that.
100%.
Into that intention.
100%. I like the way you think. It's
we need
let's
to
create,
change,
right? Let's
right.
create. Why we were able to work, and one of the reasons why I chose to sell SunPower myself, it's because our panels produce up to 50% more energy than the competition, than any other panel. SunPower has the most powerful and the most efficient panel on Earth. So not only is going to give you more energy, which means you need a lot less panels to give you the energy you need, but also it is the most reliable panel on Earth. You're never going to have an issue with this brand. For example, SunPower, and this is for everybody that's at home listening, they are in charge 100% of the manufacturing process of the panel, 100%. And what they do is they take these panels and they test them thoroughly. And they put this panel subject to really obnoxious races of electricity. They'll put them in a fridge, if you will, and then immediately in an oven, in which they take if a panel, for example, if it's 100 degrees outside, on your roof is going to be almost 200. You could literally fry an egg on a panel. So what they do is they test these panels and they put them in temperatures upwards 300, 400, 500 degrees, and then they bring them below zero. They do this consistently, and then they test the panels, and they prove that the panels keep on working. These panels are guaranteed for 25 years. So why we were able to install panels in your residence, it's because we're able to maximize the space. We can put, and you're getting a very big system. One of the biggest systems I've seen, you're getting 40 panels, which is equivalent to 60 or 70 conventional panels. That's why other companies told you, listen, for this to make sense to you, we need to put so many panels that you need to remove all the trees so we can have access to the sun throughout.
Right.
So
and here's the caveat: it's free. It's not costing me anything.
Yeah.
And it's not costing me anything because
Yeah. So there is right now a program called California Solar Initiative that is giving a very juicy 30% rebate on solar panels, and that is what we solar companies use to install a system at absolutely no upfront costs to the homeowner. Now, and there's nothing hidden, there's nothing secret. Like, for example, I never got a check from you or a credit card, right, Sharyn? It's very simple. We get paid. We get paid 100% for our services. But in this case, with absolutely no money out of the customer's pocket, we can install a system that, depending, of course, on the roof and their usage, most likely is going to completely satisfy their needs. And they're going to replace...
Do you have to have a certain roof, by the way?
Oh,
can it be tile? Can it be?
Oh, we do everything. We work comp, tile. We've done, we've installed solar in custom-made $10 million homes in Malibu where they imported the tile from Italy. Like we really know what we're doing. So yeah, we don't have we are the experts in reverse tilting, ground mounting. We get extremely creative. We can put carports. We design for a customer a Porsche, in which he's, I know I'm mispronouncing that word, but he had a beautiful garden. He didn't want to put ground mounts, neither he wanted the solar on his roof. So we designed a porch made of aluminum and iron, in which we place the panels on top, and the family drinks tea underneath. Wow. It looks beautiful. Just to we got creative to maximize the space and to cater the needs of our customer. But this is just for everybody out there. This is just how it works. Let's say you have a $300 bill. We can come in, and with absolutely no money out of your pocket, zero, we can put a system that is going to completely satisfy your needs. Now, you're going to have a bill, okay? You're not acquiring a new bill. This is the way I'm inviting all of you to see this. You're not acquiring a new bill. You're replacing an existing bill that keeps going up for one that's lower and that's fixed for 20 years, okay? So let's say somebody has a $300 bill. Edison just got approved 32% increase. Just so you know, they were seeking something obnoxious like 40, but they got approved 32%. DWP is up there already. But anyway, electricity is going to skyrocket. We're going to experience something similar to what we experienced with gasoline 5 years ago, but right now with electricity. Oh. So if you have a $300 bill, that bill is going to keep growing. It's going to be $340. Then same usage. Then the year after it's going to be $370. Then $420, et cetera, et cetera. Probably 10 years from now, you're going to be spending over $1,000. But right now, we can come in, install a solar system with absolutely no money out of pocket, bring that bill down to, let's say, $250 or $260. But now you're going to be paying $250 or $260 for the next 20 years. So what you do is not only you lower immediately your bill, therefore acquiring immediate relief, but you acquire insurance against the raises of electricity.
And we're doing something for the planet. We're going to take a short break, and I have some more questions I want to ask Sergio. So
Perfect.
We'll be right back.
Beautiful.
My soul lifting me up, if ever know where's my goal. When I'm all crazy, got my head spinning around. She just lifts me up when holding me down. Yeah, she's holding me down. Every time I gaze into her eyes, thoughts cross back an escape path, and I find that she is all I need. So hopeless that I can't control it, but my mind won't be the death of me. I know she's what I need. Without my hair I breathe for just a moment in time. So my lines are slow, but I just gotta let her go.
Oh, we're just grooving, and I love that.
That's
music.
right.
I
It's
love that
awesome.
music. We're back with Get Healthy the Wynters Way with the Pure Cure. I'm Sharyn Wynters, and my guest is Sergio Bruna. Well,
thank you,
this
Sharyn.
has just been an incredible amount of information that you're educating, and I so appreciate it because I didn't have time to listen to all this information. I was so busy when you came in. All I heard was, you don't have to take down my trees, and it's not going to cost me any money. And I went, okay, put it in.
And it's going to look...
That's kind of how I operate.
And in your property, it's going to look great because you have a beautiful... Like, you couldn't design a better roof. It's perfectly facing south. And this is the thing. The sun comes up on the east, goes out on the west, but travels southwards. So if anybody has a south-facing roof, that's ideal for solar because that means that the panels are literally going to be bathed constantly during the day.
And you don't have to take out those trees. It's incredible to me.
No, it's not.
I'm so grateful to Jimmy.
Exactly. And you know, the
you got a call.
The production of electricity is guaranteed too. So, I mean, that's why we're very careful and we make sure that, the panels are going to deliver the energy because it's guaranteed. Otherwise, we're paying for it, right?
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So let's just say, what happens in 20 years?
Okay.
So
there are two ways of going solar. You can purchase the system and pay a cash, or you put in a credit card, or you write a check, whatever. You can purchase a system in which then you own the system outright.
What's the system that's, if I had to pay for it?
You're talking about, your system is very big. Your system is between $60,000 and $70,000.
Okay.
An average size system goes for $20,000, $25,000. But mind you, if somebody's paying $150 right now and they can purchase a system, let's say for $19,000 or $20,000,
I never have to pay again for electricity.
And the system is guaranteed for 25 years, Sharyn. No, but it's almost like a car engine. You buy a car, it's guaranteed for 3 years, 36,000 miles. But even when the guarantee expires, it's pretty much the life of the car is starting. Like the fact that the warranty expires means nothing. So the panels are guaranteed for 25 years, which means that the system probably is going to be giving you electricity for 40. What's going to happen is that after 20, 25 years, it's going to start degrading and give you less power every year. Nevertheless, still giving you juice. One thing, I would like to actually explain how this works, because people are intrigued. They tell me about the net metering and how the energy work, how the panels work, what happens with excess of energy, et cetera, et cetera. But to finish my point, there's two ways of doing this. You can purchase the system, cash, and then you own the system outright, or you can lease a system, which is what we are doing a lot lately. In this case, there's no cost associated with acquiring solar. We take care of the installation, inverters, blueprints, engineering, design, etc. Once the system is installed and is generating electricity for you, you're going to have a monthly bill, but that bill is going to be lower than what you're currently paying, and it's going to be fixed for 20 years. So, needless to say, everybody can see the value of that.
Right.
You're acquiring immediate relief and insurance against the risk of electricity. Now,
and you're doing something for your carbon footprint.
Oh, 100%. Guys,
that's another.
It is sharing, and that's why it's not just our financial, for financial motives that you're going to save money. It is our moral duty to go solar.
Absolutely.
We have to go solar. You have to do it just so you can give back to the planet. And mind you, recycling is great, but nothing contaminates more than burning coal to generate electricity. In fact, I was just, if you don't mind, I was just doing some research right now, and with this, the power plants that are closing down in Germany, I mean, the Fukushima, I was talking about the plant, the solar system that they put in Fukushima, that is like taking 250,000 cars off the roads. Like, that is just the impact it has. It's a massive solar system, but that is talking about the carbon footprint. So it is our financial and our moral duty to go solar. Now, solar, this is how it works. The panels are generating electricity constantly during the day. It's a machine that doesn't have an on or off button. There's no mechanical parts.
You don't hear it?
At all, zero.
Okay.
So when we turn on that thing, it's going to stay turned on for probably 40 years. It's going to be generating electricity constantly. Doesn't need any maintenance. The only thing they recommend is to hose down the panels once a year, which is a service we're going to be providing ourselves.
Thank you. I don't see myself getting up there and doing it.
We're going to get Jimmy to do it. But But so that's pretty much it. So the system is going to be generating electricity constantly. The energy the system generates that you don't use goes back to the grid of your utility company, making your meter run backwards. So you don't have a way of storing that electricity at home, and I don't recommend anybody to acquiring a battery. Now, we're talking about a battery in order to a battery that will satisfy your home needs. We're talking about a battery the size of an SUV probably, which is toxic, first of all. There's radiation involved. It's toxic. I don't recommend anybody to have one. So what we're working with utility companies is the net metering system. The energy the system generates that you don't use goes back to the grid, making your meter run backwards. Meaning you own that energy, is yours. But because you're not using it, you're sending it back to the grid. Now, people that go solar, they stop getting a bill from the utility company. They get a bill which is more like a statement. It's a statement.
Well, they still get a bill for water.
You know, 100. In your case, DWP,
right.
you have the water and the I think the trash. I don't know,
right.
everything at once. But for example, PG&E Edison is just an electricity bill. But the electricity, I should rephrase that. The electricity portion of your bill will disappear. What you're going to get is a statement that shows clearly how much energy your system generated and how much you used, and we have seen that people's solar systems generate more energy than what they use prior to the summer. But in the summer, air conditioner comes, especially here in California. Kids are off school, at home, fridge is opening more often, and the television. So people in the summer usually use more energy than what the system generates. But guess what? They don't get a bill either because usually, most likely, they develop credit prior in the year. So they're using the credit they develop earlier in the year. At the end of the year, they do a true-up, utility companies. And now customers can choose if to get paid for that energy or roll over, almost like rollover means they can roll over for the next year. So they do a true-up and they see where you are. If your system generated more energy that you use, they will purchase that electricity from you. DWP has the FIT program, feed-in tariff, and it is buying. And by the way, a lot of commercial buildings right now are going to benefit from this, from the FIT program, because they're going to build massive solar systems on the roofs in downtown,
right.
And they're going to be selling that electricity to DWP. DWP is paying 17 cents for that electricity for each kilowatt. So that's how solar works. It's always working for you. It makes you go green like nothing else in this world, and it is something that we all dearly have to consider, especially right now, given the fact that you can go solar with absolutely no money out of pocket. So it's almost too good to be true. We're helping the planet while we're saving money.
Right.
No brainer.
So let me ask you something. In 20 years, the technology is going to be much more advanced than it is now. What happens if there's different panels that come up, or will you replace them or no?
This is the thing. Solar technology is not like cell phones, televisions, meaning every year there's something new, bigger and better, or in this case smaller and more powerful, right? It will be the case of phones. Solar panels have only improved 3% in efficiency in the past 10 years. So probably in 15 years, we're going to see something better that is going to be more powerful and probably smaller in size. But what we're doing, I mean, this is the America, the land of marketing, and what we're going to do in this case is we're going to reach out to our customers, in this case you, Sharyn, and when we have something bigger and better, we're going to approach you and we're going to offer an upgrade. And it's pretty much like cell phone companies do when your 2 years are up. They'll give you a phone that costs $700. They'll give it to you for either free or $100 as long as you engage in the program again.
Right.
So
and can extend it.
Exactly. So sorry, my answer was so long, but I wanted to set it up properly. So most likely, what's going to happen is that we will, as long as they sign up again for another term, most likely we're going to be installing a system.
So at the end of 20 years, my lease is up.
Yes.
Then what?
Okay.
I'm paying a certain amount of money. What happens?
Okay. On paper, there are three options. which is one, they're going to ask you to purchase the system for a residual value that will be determined then by a third party. Of course, remember, you can always just purchase the system and you're
Right.
done with it. But if you go on the list after the 20 years, they're going to ask you to purchase the system for a residual value that will be determined then by a third party. Meaning nobody knows today how much the system is going to cost then, because that's based on what's going to be there in the market.
Right. Okay.
But option number 2, which I recommend people to say no to that. Option number 2 is they're going to extend the program. They're going to ask you if you want to extend the program because the panels are working fine. Option number 3.
At the same price. At the same price that I'm paying for the
Oh,
electric?
probably they'll give you a discount. But this is the thing. Option number 3 is that solar companies are supposed to go pick up the equipment. But that's not cost effective for anybody, because it's going to cost you more to remove. Because remember, they're not just ripping out the panels. They need to put tiles back in its place. They need to fix the conduit, paint. So what we suspect is going to happen is what happens in every other industry. There's something that they call the lease killer. And probably, in order to avoid that, they're going to allow you to keep the system, many people are saying, for $1. But all those are speculations. What's going to happen is prior to the 20 years, you're going to get an upgrade. Because, it means you're going to have to sign again for another, but that's where we're going. Because I'm just saying, but that's what makes sense for us as solar companies too, because it's going to be our way of pushing new product.
Right.
So what I wanted to tell you, in your case, and for those listening at home, is you're in, you score. So you're in, you're getting a system.
When will that system be in, by the way? Yesterday?
We're almost there. We're already submitting the paperwork. And by the way, what did you think of our boys, Jeremy, Winifredo? They're awesome,
Oh, they're
right?
awesome.
They're awesome.
They're awesome.
And
They're like up there on the roof.
doing the measurements and stuff. So we're really quick installing, doing the permits, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of my company, of who we are, our culture. We're not greedy. We give the best pricing. We deliver the biggest savings. We want to make an impact. This is not just about.
Do you have something on your website so people can ask questions?
Yeah, Carpe Solaris. They can leave us comments. 100%.
Okay, so say it slow. I know you're from Spain, right?
That is correct.
He's from Spain, so you must say it slowly.
Okay.
Spell it slowly.
www.
www.
CarpeSolaris.com.
You have to spell that.
Carpe Solaris. It's like, you know what that means? Like Carpe Diem, seize the day, right? This is seize the sun.
Right.
I'm very proud of that,
spell
Sharyn.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta spell it.
CarpeSolaris. This is CarpeSolaris.com.
Yeah, that's it.
That is correct. Great job. CarpeSolaris.
It's there. It's up there.
Our telephone number, and in fact, just for this show, we acquired a new VoIP digital phone system to be able to handle as many messages as people are want to.
Because you're all going to call it because you either own a home, you know somebody that owns a home, and it's a win-win situation. You have nothing to lose. It doesn't cost anything for somebody to come down. What can we do to give people if it's coming through me?
Exactly, and that was exactly my next thing. If they leave us a voicemail and they tell us that they're reaching out to us because they heard your show or they know you. So if you guys can just leave us a message and say, listen, I'm a friend of Sharyn. I listened to her show or through your website or however. We're not only gonna move things quickly. I'm personally committing myself to go meet with you and to assess your situation.
You're gonna be like a gerbil.
And 100%. And we're gonna give you guys a discount. And we're gonna give you guys a big discount just because
if they're not paying for anything. How? Oh, you mean more of a discount on their bill?
Exactly. Exactly. And that could be throwing a few extra panels so you get more energy if we can. Like, I'll find a way to personally take care of you guys. Please make sure you let us know that you're calling us because you heard about our company through Sharyn's show. And I promise I will take care of you very, very well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
And if I can share, can I share the phone number really quick? Oh, okay, awesome.
That's our wonderful
Sorry.
engineer, by the way, Mark. Yeah. Just Mark. I asked him what his last name is. He said, just Mark, just like Shar. He's Mark.
So that's my and the office number is 323-306-3869. So it's 323-306-3869. Call, leave us a voicemail, and we'll take care of you. We'll get you solar, no money out of pocket. We'll get you saving money right away, and you will be sleeping better at night because you are having the biggest impact you can have in the world. There's nothing, guys, there's nothing bigger that you can do for the world than acquiring solar. And after solar, an electric car. But this is the thing, Sharyn. Tesla and that technology, it's still, because, they're gorgeous cars, and 300 miles are 300 miles. But
and they're setting up stations all over the country.
I've seen it.
I know what I wanted to ask you. Is your company just for California? Because there's people listening that are all over the United States.
The United States. Yeah, right now, we are operating only in California.
Okay.
But leave me a voicemail because I'll point you in the right direction. I'll tell you what companies, because basically it's what we're talking about. I know I belong to this beautiful network of SunPower. I want to point you, even if I'm not going to do business with you directly, my commitment, again, is been big part to the environment. I promise to point you to the right person in your area and somebody that's going to give you great service and the best product in the world.
We all need to be doing something. We all need to take action. We need to do more than just know. We need to become sustainable. We need to do something because we've hurt this earth. It's our responsibility to leave it a little bit, better than how we got it. And I always remember my parents saying, when you go to stay at somebody's house, leave it better than when you got it. So just do something nice. And it kind of always stays in my head. Well, through our greed and all that, we've destroyed this planet. And it's time that we start doing things to take care of it. And this is a great way. I feel so great within myself. I go out there and I look at my garden. I'm picking out tomatoes and arugula and zucchini from my garden that I'm putting right into my body. And now I'm getting solar, so I'm doing my bit.
You're not using any pesticides, obviously, in your garden. You're not using. Needless to say,
no. But and it's been a journey because between the rabbits, the gophers, the possums.
That's.
It's been a learning experience, and I even have a biodynamic garden, which it's the whole way of the soil and all of that. So it's definitely been.
So you actually.
I can't catch a thing.
Nice.
Can't catch a thing. Believe me, I've got no, I can't catch a thing. I've got some issues with my garden that, and I'm going to have a whole chapter on the garden. I've got an expert coming in a couple of weeks on the garden. She's awesome. We're going to Skype her. She's from Virginia. She's one of them. God, well, everybody that I bring in is an expert in the field, which is what my intention is with my book, is to bring in experts to talk about these issues that are of concern to me and to what's going on this planet.
I read a newsletter, you sent an email, I think it was last week, in which you were sharing about the how radiation it's spreading. And I just it makes total sense. Never thought about it. The rain is sharing and contaminating radiation throughout the world, right?
Oh yeah, it's interesting. I got an email with a picture. A friend of mine lives in Hawaii, and they have a friend who's a chef at one of these really high-end restaurants, and they were saying, they showed the picture of this tuna that came in with all these sores and all this tumors all over their body, and they were told that they need to cut it out to serve it, and the chef said they're never going to eat tuna again.
Wow!
And, it's incredible. And it's interesting because I went to a friend of mine. I'm a vegetarian, but I went with a friend of mine to a sushi restaurant, and this is a restaurant that was always crowded. You had to wait around the corner, and it wasn't. So maybe people are becoming more aware of the mercury that's going into our fish, and it's such a shame what we've done, and there's no going back at this point.
It's sad, but you know what?
But I feel responsible
doing
because
something.
I've got 2 children, and I want my children to have children. And what is the legacy that I'm leaving for them? And that's why I wrote the book, The Pure Cure: A Complete Guide to Freeing Your Life from Dangerous Toxins. So I got to hold it up. Here it is. The Pure Cure: A Complete Guide to Freeing Your Life from Dangerous Toxins. 20 chapters of areas of concern, and at the end, solutions to what you can do about it. So, what else do you want to? That you think that's important for people to know about solar, that we can help them understand a little bit more about what's going on?
Well, what you need to know is that there's absolutely, and now we've covered this already, but it's worth stretching it again. You're not acquiring a new bill. You're replacing an existing bill that keeps going up for one that's lower. And that's fixed. And a lot of people tell me, Sergio, what? But in this case, it's 20 years. It's a 20-year commitment, or it's a 20-year. Well, you're already on a lease with Edison or your utility company that lasts a lifetime. You're already on a contract that lasts a lifetime, and in that time, they can raise their prices however much they want.
I know. Well, that's why I called again, because my bills kept coming up, and I'm more and more concerned. I mean, I now turn out all my lights when I leave the house and all that, and my bill keeps going up and up and up. And so it not only bothers me from a financial standpoint, but from a moral standpoint.
Because,
I'm contributing to this, and I don't want to be doing that.
The more money you spend in electricity, in some way, you are contaminating. You are...
Absolutely. So...
But now, I appreciate the fact that you went solar, Sharyn, because that's something good for you, for the environment. But you know what? It's just a lot of people, believe it or not, and I've learned to respect the same that I respect any religion. I said, I've had people that tell me, listen, Sergio, save the environmental pitch for somebody else because I don't care about the environment. I care about my money. How much money can you save me? And those people still end up going solar, which is a good thing, because I feel good after when every solar system that we install, we know we're changing the world one rooftop at a time, right? So we know we're doing a good thing.
Changing the world one rooftop at a time.
That's correct.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's why I'm committed. And for me, it's not about price. It's not about, like in your case, can you do it? We find a way to,
I'm
to make
going
it
to
work.
ask you something. Did somebody really say we don't care about the environment?
100%.
No.
And a couple of bad words. I didn't want it to contaminate your show with
I don't know what circles you hang out with, but nobody in my circle would ever say that. They don't care about the environment.
Yeah, 100%. People that don't believe in global warming, they don't believe in those things, they don't care. They're like, listen, Sergio, how much money can you save me? How is this going to affect my...
I mean, my bills are extraordinary. You saw them.
But I'm going to tell you something. This is a beautiful thing about the solar system. Imagine you sell your house 15 years from now.
That's the other question. So what happens if I sell my house?
Very simple.
Or God forbid I die.
Yeah, if you
and
two things. If you've purchased the system, then obviously you own the system outright, and it stays with the house if you want it to be. And the new homeowner just acquires the house with the system. If you lease the system, the new homeowner, and it's a one-page document, acquires the lease, which is the same thing. You're leasing a car, you get tired of it, you can put it on Craigslist, and somebody will just, there's no money associated with transferring the lease. You just transfer the lease, and a new person acquires it. But this is the thing. Right now, let's say somebody has a $300 bill, because I'm just putting what I see on a daily basis, because your bill it's unusual because also your home is unusual, and so somebody has a $300 bill, and we bring it down to, let's say, $240, right, or to $250, and now it's going to be fixed for 20 years at $250. So 15 years from now, probably, if they didn't go solar, they will be paying $1,100, right? So when you sell your house, the new homeowner comes and knows two things. Knows that they have a low fixed bill that's never going to go up. And two, a home that's self-sufficient.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
awesome.
No, exactly. And is not contaminated. So it becomes an asset. So if you were to take off the solar system from that home, automatically their bill will go to $1,100 or whatever it is that they're charging there. But not only that, that bill always keeps going up. That's what people don't understand. That bill always keeps
I
going up.
understand, because where my bill was 3 years ago when I first called, and where it is today, it's increased as I've decreased and become more conscious of turning out my lights. And
you still see that it keeps going up because
Yeah.
that's obnoxious. Now, I had people that tell me, Sergio, those new meters they put, there's something in them. You know,
smart meters are a whole other thing.
I don't know
but we're having a show on that one.
But this is the thing, and so it's very easy. It actually becomes an asset. If you ever want to sell your house, it's going to sell for more money, and it's going to sell faster. So it's in every way. This is why and I've been in different businesses in my life. But what I'm so proud about this, and what I love about this business is that, however you want to look at this is a beautiful thing because we are making money. The homeowner is saving money,
and they get money back from DWP. If you're putting your meter in reverse,
yeah, exactly.
What happens to that when your meter's going into reverse?
That you're being credited for that energy,
right?
And you can use it later whenever you want. Like if it gets to the end of the year. Like this is what they do during the year. What we've experienced is that systems will generate more than what homeowners use prior to the summer.
Right.
Because a system,
right.
unlike the use of electricity in a home, it doesn't really vary that much. A system is going to be generating electricity constantly throughout the year. Even when it's cloudy, the system generates electricity.
Right.
Proof is Germany. There's more solar in Germany than in the rest of the world combined. Guys, let's say that one more time. In Germany, those guys, they're ahead of the game. There's more solar in Germany than in the rest.
And a lot in medical too.
So it is. It's not solar. Is not the future. Is the present. And we need to move forward. We need to. And we must do it. It's our financial and our moral duty to go solar. So call us at 323-306-3869. Leave a voicemail. Let us know that Sharyn is sending you to us. I promise to take care of you.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Sergio, thank you so much.
Thank you,
coming
Sharyn, for
here.
having me.
And for all of you out there, today is Thanksgiving. Why don't you just take a minute after you hear the show and just sit in a chair and just close your eyes and think of 5 things that you're thankful for. I thank you for being here. I thank you for listening. Have a blessed Thanksgiving, and namaste.
Namaste.
I'm just doing my thing, oh, you keep hanging. I'm just doing my thing, oh, you keep hanging. So I give you solutions, not just here's the problem, but I give you solutions. I'm just doing my 6 in the morning, yeah, I'm on my dough. And that's why I wrote the book. It took me, it's about 37 to 40 years of research. Now flourishing, life's an excursion. If you get it. When you isolate a vitamin from its whole food form, it becomes nothing more than an isolated chemical, and your body actually has to work harder to break it down to its molecular structure. Feeling so good, so good. And I'm feeling so good.